Hello lovely people, I'm K3N and welcome to my channel. I'm sitting in my car, as you may have noticed, and Stella's in the back there. I have been making videos about stitching since the back end of last year, 2023, and there are many lovely people who have joined me in that journey in my YouTube community. And recently, in the last couple of months, I have found myself newly single at the age of nearly 60. And I have, after 20 years of a relationship, and I've shared that with the people in my slow stitch community, and I've been overwhelmed by the number of messages of support, and particularly people who have gone through similar experiences. It's not later in life. We're still young at nearly 60, aren't we? We're still young at 80. But you know what I mean. After years of being one of a couple, you suddenly find yourself on your own, and it's a big change, and there's a lot to overcome. And I've really felt supported and uplifted by all the messages that I've had here in the comments, and I have a private Facebook group for the slow stitch projects that I invite you to share in on my YouTube channel. I did think about making another channel for this, but I don't think there's a problem with an overlap between the stitching and what this is going to be about. I'm calling this Park Home Life. It's kind of a nod to Blur, if you remember Blur, and their song Park Life, because I've been living in France for the last 7 years with my partner of 20 years, and the last 3 or 4 years have been really difficult for me. I've been really isolated, without going into too much, personal stuff that there's no point in dredging it up. But basically our paths diverged, and where we thought we were going differed, and I was very much left on my own, alone. My self-esteem took a big hit, and through starting my YouTube channel, initially it was to have some contact with the outside world and with stitchy people in particular, and it's helped me, and it helped me enormously through that very difficult time. But finally it became apparent that there was no way forward with the relationship, and so I've come back to the UK, back to England, to the West Country where I lived before I went to France 7 years ago. And I've managed to buy a little park home, hence the name of this series of videos. Quite an old little park home that had been empty for 2 years, and I've spent the last few weeks over here in England staying with a lovely friend of mine who's been brilliant, fixing it up, painting, cleaning, all that kind of thing. And then 3 days ago now, all my stuff was brought over from France. And also my little dog Stella, who's now laid back down again, and my little cat Fredfred, who's back in the park home. So in this first episode, this is just going to be random. It's going to be me wittering, it's going to be me doing stuff in the home, some renovation things, some stitchy things as well. I don't know yet. I'm literally making it up as I go along. But today I'm going to go to the beach, because where I lived in France we were a good 3 hours from the coast, and the coast that was 3 hours away was very touristy, and campsites, and no kind of wild places really. And here I know this coastline. This is a Jurassic coastline on the West Country of England. So I'm going to go to this one particular beach that I remember very fondly, and Stella's going to love it. And there's a little cafe there where I remember they're very dog friendly. And we're going to have a walk on the beach. I'm going to have a coffee. And Stella's going to have some doggy biscuits, and I hope that I'm going to be able to make some video and that you're going to be able to hear me. I do have a microphone I usually use for my videos, but I haven't unpacked the box that it's in yet, so I hope you can hear me now. I'm sat in my little car, who is called Mabel, who's a very small car, but my friend called her Mabel because she's able, so she's Able Mabel. And we're going to go to the beach, and then after that I have to go to the DIY store, flexing my muscles. I'm going to buy myself a cordless screwdriver / drill. I have some handheld screwdrivers that I bought recently, but I've decided I need a power tool. I've got some shelves and stuff to put up, so I'm going to go and do that. So I shall show you that in a bit. So thank you so much for all your support if you've been with me from the beginning, and if you're new here, welcome, welcome. If you just want to follow these videos because you're interested in how it is to be a woman on your own suddenly. I shouldn't keep saying nearly 60. I'm still in my 50s. I'm in my 50s for another 7 or 8 months. So let's not keep saying nearly 60. But anyway, if you're interested in only that, then that's great. If you think you might like the stitching, you know, and you don't know me or who I am or what I stand for, every Monday there's a slow stitch project, and every Wednesday I do something called Wonky Wednesday, where I take kind of more traditional quilty type things and basically do it wonky, all hand stitched, and you know, no rules and seam allowances and all that nonsense. So check those out as well. Otherwise, see, I told you I wittered. I did warn you, I witter. Anyway, so Mabel, I'm going to fire Mabel up and we're going to go down to the beach, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the video. Hello lovely people, I don't know if you can hear me because I don't have the microphone, I hope so, and it's quite windy, but anyway, we've come to the beach. Stells! Good girl. So I just wanted to show you how beautiful it is. I'll do a little scan. I think you can hear me because it's so windy, but hello. It's beautiful and Stella's loving it. This whole beach along here is stones, but they're very tiny little roundy pebbles. I'll show you. Do you see? And even Stells. No, you can't eat it. You can, even in summer I can walk here in my bare feet. They don't hurt, you know. It's almost like big sand. Well, it hurts a bit, but only at first. Okay, so I'm gonna... No, don't bark. She said... No, not talking. She says if you pick something up, then you must want to throw it to me or give it to me. No, I was showing the people. Now she's gonna dig a hole. Then dig a hole. Dig a hole. Dig a hole. She dug a hole. We'll put it back in so nobody trips in it. I'm going to stop now and walk on a bit further. pink. I'm going to go for this one because it says easy and also it's still quite spendy, but it's one of the least spendy, and I've heard of Bosch, so I have to take a little ticket to the checkout. There we go. I think I need to get bits and drill things. Don't know what they're called. You know, the things to make holes and the things to put screws in with. So I have to go and look for those separately. Okay, I've just come out of the DIY store. I'm back in Mabel. I'll show you what I bought. I bought an aerial for the TV. I bought some little hooky hooks because I've got shelves in my kitchen, not a lot of cupboard space. So this is to hang my cups under the shelves. That's what those are for. I bought, I showed you, or I will show you, depending on how I edit. I didn't know what screws I needed for the shelving, and they all come in like boxes of 100 or whatever, and all the sizes are really confusing. But this particular chain of DIY stores, I'm sure many do, did something called pick and mix. So you take a little bag, and you go along and you choose all the screws that you think you might need, and you fill the bag. And then, so hopefully I've got the right ones and enough of them. Brilliant. And I bought the famous cordless drill / screwdriver, and a lovely young man called Terry helped me because I couldn't find anywhere where it said if it had the screwdriver bits or drill bits or anything in it, and he couldn't find it anywhere. It wasn't on the packaging, so he opened it up for me. And indeed there was only the screwdriver bits. Now you know you've got two kinds of screws. You've got the flathead screws and the Phillips with the little cross. So this has got a bit that you can have one way or the other. So I should be good for all kinds of screws. We'll see. But then it didn't have the drilly bits, so I bought a couple of little drilly bits as well. So that's it. So I'm now going to go back to my home. Park Life Home, what are we calling it? Park Home Life, and see how Fredfred's doing, because he's been on his own now for a couple of hours, so I hope he's not too lonely, and get some lunch and charge my new toy, and try and put I've got a shelving thing that a friend's husband made for me years ago, which is an apple crate with a shelf across the middle. So it's basically got 3 shelves, one on top, one on the shelf he's put in, and the bottom shelf. And I want to attach it to the wall in such a way that I can actually put things on it and it won't fall down. So we'll see. I don't think I'll get to that today because I have to charge my screwdriver thingy bob up, and I don't know how long that'll take. But anyway, I'll show you that. So this is going to be all bitty and all over the place, and I'm going to witter a lot apparently in between. So there we go. I'll fire up Mabel and head home. Okay, so here I am back home. I found the microphone, so I'm sorry if I'm now deafening you if you turn the sound up so you could hear me before. I'm going to plug in my new toy to charge, and when I've done that I'm going to give you a little look round. I say when I've done that. Here it is. Doesn't work at the moment, you have to make the noise yourself. Childish Catherine. Here is the battery pack. With the plug on. I'm going to plug it in to the wall, turn the switch, and it says green. I don't know what that means. Green is go. Maybe it's already charged. Oh well, here are the instructions. Huge fat book. which I can't see. Oh, it's alright, it's in 5 million languages, so probably it's original instructions. Power for all system. Let's look. See, I'm a woman, so I'm going to read them. I'm saying nothing. I just did. All I want to know is about charging. You need to find a language you actually read. Page 7, English. Maintenance, troubleshooting, charging. Pay attention to the mains voltage, blah de blah de blah. Plug it in. It just says plug it in. Oh, here we go. Battery is not being charged. Correct indicator. Doesn't actually tell you what the lights mean. Green battery charge indicator. I assume that means it's charged. Let's try the other huge thick manual. Page 13 for English. Safety instructions. I will read those. Intended use. Talk amongst yourselves while I try and see. Oh, here we go. LEDs on rechargeable battery. 1 continuous green light. Oh, I need 4 lights. 4 continuous green lights means it's between 75 and 100% charged. 1 continuous green light, which is what I've got, means, whoops, means it's only 5%, so I shall leave it for a bit. Sorry about that. That probably was not very interesting. Right, so now I've done that, I'm going to show you around a little bit. Bearing in mind I've only been here for 3 days, so I'm nowhere near unpacked. Put that back in its case. So I'm going to get you off the stand and turn you round and take the microphone with me so you can hear me. I'm going to insert it in my portable handy microphone holder. Excuse me one moment, you'll have a shot up my nose. There we go, and I'll show you. There's my portable handy microphone holder. It works! Put the rest of it in my pocket. Okay, so I'll spin you round. I'll go back to the door. I'll spin you round and I'll give you a tour. Okay, so this is my front door. It's very small, so it's very hard to get back far enough to show you. But here's my front door. Imagine I've come in. I won't open it and come in because Fredfred is still confined to barracks. Let's go here first. This is my bedroom. And there's Fredfred, laying there in the sun. This is my little single bed. Stells, get off there please, thank you. My little single bed. The bed frame was actually Lily's, my daughter's, who's now 20. When it was her first bed, and it was in the barn in France. So I had to give it a good clean. It's got some marks on it here and there, you know, where it's been knocked. I'll get some white paint at one point and touch it up. That's my big cushion. If you've been following me and you've been watching Wonky Wednesday, way back when I started talking about log cabins, I showed you that. It's just so nice for sitting up in bed and reading and, you know, whatever. Reading your YouTube comments. These are 2 rugs. And in them, this is how I always there's now wrestling going on. Sorry, probably you'd rather see the wrestling. You wrestling? No, stop wrestling. Yeah, whenever this is pictures and mirrors and things like that. And this is what I've always done. I don't know if everybody does it when you're moving. If you've got rugs or blankets or, you know, quilts, things like that. This is how I sort of, you know, anyway, wrap them in rugs. So my bedroom, as you can see, is very small. That's the other end of it. There is now wrestling going on. I'll show you the wrestling. Bit of wrestling. Because we've been out all morning and Fredfred's been alone, he's probably been asleep, so now he wants to play. And Stella, although she's been running on the beach all morning, is still full of beans. No, shh, shh, shh. Act quiet, wrestling, please. She just puts her paw on his head. Stells, good girl, calm. Indoor voices, thank you. Yeah. Anyway, so that's the noise you can hear going on in the background. But there's these huge cupboards, luckily, that go right up to the ceiling. I'm not going to open them, they're just Stells, full of boxes and stuff that I haven't yet unpacked. I may paint them at one point because they're a bit dark and gloomy. But this whole place has been painted by me. It was, I'll insert a tiny bit of footage here of what it was like before I started. Just a little bit. Okay, so that's how it looked before I came. So I've painted everything, freshened everything up, cleaned everything. Those curtains are out of my former studio. A bit of carpet my friend had spare. Under the bed are loads of rolled up quilts. It's just really using every bit of space. This little bit of gripper rod here, see my toe coming in? I bought a hacksaw and I cut that and I put that there myself. Hold the camera still, Catherine, so we can see. So I'm going to turn slowly. It's really narrow. Stell's good girl. So now I need to pull this door a little bit so I can open this door. And this is a tiny little room full of basically my studio stuff, pretty much. And I've got two of these units, and I had them together in the house in France as a big area for my cutting mats. So my plan here is to put shelves all up this wall, all the way up to the ceiling. I'll go in and show you. All the way up to the ceiling, so I can put stuff up there. And then along the end here, I'm going to make, with a piece of wood and some batten support on the wall, a sort of an L shape, so I can have a big cutting mat there for when I'm journaling and stuff like that. So this will basically be my standing up space and storage stuff. Teddy, hello Teddy. Teddy wearing a hat that I made for my dad. Right, where are you, Fred? I just have to make sure I don't shut him in anywhere. He's gone back in the bedroom. Some bags hanging. I did put that up myself, that hook. Yay, and it's still up. And that's a cupboard. Do you need to see the cupboard? That's a little, there's my, oh yes, you do need to see the cupboard. There is my first screwdriver set that I bought, which I used to put it up on the wall. There's my boots, there's the electric stuff, that's my recycling box, and up there is some other stuff. That's my neighbour's spirit level that he's lent me. The bathroom, I'll show you the shelves. Here's the bathroom. See the lovely soap and soap dish? That was a present from Margaret. Thank you, Margaret, very much. Margaret and Oscar. So I've got this. I need to get a new seal for the... That gives you an idea of the colour of the place. The whole place was the colour of that bit of dark brown sealant across the shower screen. I need to get a new bit of that stuff and replace it because it won't clean. Yeah, here, this is with my hairbrush and a hook that needs to go on the back of the door. This is made out of an old apple, I think it was apples or potatoes, I don't know, crate. And a friend of mine put a shelf in it years ago when I lived in England before. And it used to be in my studio, but I want to put it up there on the wall to put, you know, bathroom related stuff on it. And because Fredfred's indoors, there's a human loo. You know what they look like. And there's also a Fredfred loo down there in the corner. So going through into the kitchen. The cooker's not yet connected, so I've got this little electric hob which I use when I'm doing my eco dyeing, so I've got that plugged in here for now so I can cook on it. So it's a bit grubby. I cleaned it as best I could, but it's usually out in the shed. I'll reversing, making sure not to tread on Stella. So all these shelves with all the stuff on were here already. I'm not feeding you yet. She's nudging her bowl because I'm standing near her food tin. These shelves are already here. They've had a good scrub, I have to say, but I took them all down to paint and then put them all back up again. And I say that quickly and easily, but it was quite a job because they weigh a ton and I kind of had to get my shoulder under them and, you know, anyway, I did it. But I did notice that they are just screwed to the wall. The walls are quite sturdy, surprisingly. It's kind of chipboard type stuff. So that gives me confidence for, you know, other things I might screw to the wall. So here's all my mugs. This is my new mug. See the mug in the middle there? You got this. That was sent by a lovely friend of mine as a gift, a housewarming gift. So I want to put the hooks that I bought, these hooks, up there. Oh, angle the camera, Catherine. Up there, all sort of towards the back, so I can hang all those mugs up, and that frees up that shelf for other stuff. Well, there's the clock. You see it's 20 to 5. I still haven't had lunch. I don't know where the time goes. Going slowly so you don't get seasick. And then up there is just, you know, more stuff. My Auntie Lily's tea set, some spode that my friend gave me that belonged to her mum. My friend didn't like it. I know it's probably very, you know, niche whether you like it or not, but I love it. Look at this. Look at that. Isn't that, well, you'll either be going, ugh, or, ooh, that's gorgeous, depending on, you know, what your taste is. But I liked it because it's green, and I love these tiles that are here. Well, I love them now I've cleaned them. You can even see me in them. Look, hello. So then the other side of the kitchen, going around slowly, 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 is my fridge freezer, which you can probably hear. Second hand. The fridge freezer, the cooker and the washing machine were all second hand. On top of my antique weighing scales. This fridge magnet, see this? Dux Femina Facti. I got that from a Roman place up in Northumberland, up near Hadrian's Wall. Dux Femina Facti. I don't think it's a real saying, it's kind of one of those made up ones, but it is Latin. Anyway, it means, can you read that? The leader of the enterprise is a woman. So yeah, that's right there on my fridge, in the middle. Here's another cupboard with the boiler, Hoover, bucket, spare cat litter. Stella, get your nose out. It's a good girl. A little step stool because I can't actually reach the top of those shelves. Stellas, come on. And then finally in here is the second one of those IKEA units. Mind out. Good girl. There. Now, it's now shorter. Can you see on the end there? Because it was too long. It wouldn't, you know, the door wouldn't open properly. So I went and bought a saw, and I had to cut some off this end, and I'll show you because it's a bit wonky. It's the one I did first. It's Fredfred's food. There's a bit of a curve on it. Can you see? Can you see? Can you see? So that I could get this as close to the radiator as possible, this end. And then the other end, by that time I'd learned, and I had my dad's voice in my head the whole time I was sawing, saying, don't force it, let the saw do the work. And this end, this is a hand saw. I don't think that's half bad. And I sanded it so it's all smooth. And now the door opens fully. And it's got there's a door stop down there, you see, and it doesn't bang on there. I was so proud of myself. It was hard work, but anyway. So that's great storage again for my pans and pots and, you know, stuff. Because the only cupboards in here are the cupboard under the sink there, and these drawers, and this other cupboard, which is half handy. You know these types of cupboard? You know, this end's handy, but all the stuff back in there is not very handy. So I've put stuff back in there that I use less. And there's where I just plugged in the... Oh, and there you see how I was filming at the beginning. You see, not very professional here. I had my little tripod rested on top of the kettle so you could see me. Stell's is in the doorway to the living room. Can I come through, please? Excuse me. Good girl. And then here's the living room. That's my second-hand sofa, which was... It was free from the lady that was going to take it to the tip otherwise. And then I had to pay a man and van, who was a lovely Phil. I talked about him in one of the Stitchy videos, who helped me bring it in here. And it's actually a sofa bed. It's got a metal frame that pulls out with a mattress, and it's a double bed. So if my children or my mum or, you know, someone comes to visit, it's also a bed. This door curtain here, you'll recognise if you've seen my studio in France. That was the curtain from there. There is my 2 vintage singers. The treadle has a machine in it actually, and then there's the hand crank on the top. These are all my Torrens Indian textiles, which are waiting to go over various doors and windows when I decide what I'm going to put where. This is my desk with various miscellaneous ornaments and things dotted about on it. Pictures of my children when they were little. This is where I'm going to make my videos once I get myself set up. You know, my stitching videos. You see there's still some boxes underneath. This little rocking chair, which is rather grubby because it was in the barn in France, was mine when I was a child. My mother paid £1.50 for it, old money, from the co-op. I think she said the co-op, it might have been Woolworths. When I was little, when I was about 2, so that's 57 years old. And I at one point recovered it, I think for Joey when he was little. But I'm going to do it up again and, you know, recover it and so forth. That's my jumper on my chair. Big chest of drawers that actually came from a shop in Somerset where I used to live, went to France and came back and was in my studio in France. And it's full of all my vintage French linens and stuff. There's my TV, which I now have an aerial for, so I haven't got the book for it anymore. I need to Google how to set it up. Bookcase, little chair, that's Stell's lion. Under there is a little sheepskin because Stella likes to sleep under there. This blanket box was made by my Uncle Fred, who is my Auntie Lily's husband. Auntie Lily is who my daughter Lily is named for. And it was kind of white gloss with that yellow plastic quilted top on it. But when Joey was little, I sanded it all back and made a new top for it with foam for him to have as a toy box. But it's great because it's sort of a seat or a table or it's storage. So just thinking, you know, if you're in a small space, try and choose multifunctional things, even if you can't say the word. Multifunctional. And on my new sofa, my new old sofa, are the lady had pussycats. You see on the arm there, you know what pussycats like to do. So at one point I will do some visible mending on that. I'll do some stitching and patching. The cushions, by the way, I knitted the one on the right. The next one came from Dillyway and Dillyway in Glastonbury. So it's an Indian cushion, but I have patched and mended it. The needlepoint one I also made years ago from a kit, I think. And then the next one was the first thing I ever crocheted in my life, that cushion cover, to learn how to crochet. And the blanket over the back I crocheted as well. Yeah, so anyway, the sofa. Do you see the damage there? So I'm going to do a video when I come to do that of how I'm going to tackle mending that. I also need to make curtains for this window because those were here. They've been washed 3 times and they're still quite badly stained and they're just not really, you know, my taste. So these curtains hanging here are my taste. I just like stronger colours. It's strange really because in my stitching work I use more neutrals, but there we go. There's all just stuff on the windowsill randomly placed, not really arranged yet. And so, yeah, so I don't mind. In fact, I like curtains not all matching. So a friend of mine's coming over next week with some curtain fabric for me to choose because she's got a lot. And I think I'll make a blind for that window because you see that they're awkward behind the sofa. So I'll make a blind for that window and a blind for each of the 2 kitchen windows. And there's the view looking back through. So that's my new home. So I hope you enjoyed this video this week. I'll turn you around. Just one second. Yes, there we go. I've turned you around. I'm still handheld, so I'll try not to wobble. I hope you enjoyed the first of the videos in the series Park... What are we calling it? Park Home Life. Park Home Life, that's it. And thank you so much for watching. I've got mad beach hair. Anyway, it was a good day today. I feel I've achieved stuff and I had a lovely time on the beach with Stella. And I think even though my instinct is to get on and do everything that needs to be done, what I would say to myself and anybody else is, well, you do you, obviously, as always, but to take that time out to just go and have a walk on the beach and have a coffee and see Stella having so much fun just made me feel so much better. And not to think that those couple of hours were wasted and I could have been doing practical things. No, it's sort of recharging the batteries, isn't it? So anyway, I hope you all take care of yourselves and each other. And thank you so much for watching, as always. And I look forward to you joining me next time for more Park Home Life tales. Bye bye.